when traveling through time and space, it's always important. Oh, here's one from a Mary Carpenter.
Mary Carpenter.
I wonder if she's a carpenter.
Do you think? Well, somebody in her family was a carpenter once.
Once, yes, or married a carpenter.
Or is it a pseudonym that she's the happy carpenter, but she's a Mary, M-A-R-Y, not a Mary, M-E-R-R-Y. She's not the Mary Carpenter.
Oh no, but it'd be great. Hello, I'm the Mary Carpenter.
No.
I'm sorry, darling.
Was that too perky?
No,
Oh, did that look a little odd? Just. I'm minding a saw. Remember, we had some improv experience, so I had a saw and I was zzz.
That's great. So you're miming being a doctor during the American Civil War or the British Crimean.
Only because I don't have
any antibiotics to save the lemon, so you've just sawed it right off. You left out the screaming and the laudanum or the drink this alcohol and bite this twig while I saw off your limbs.
I was trying to be the Mary Carpenter.
You were merry about sawing off your own limb, like a bear caught in a trap.
What was that? It was like electric teeth. Pardon me, I'm a bear after plugging my electric teeth.
No!
What are you talking about?
No, you know, a bear...
Talk about drinking. She says she only drinks water, but it's not true.
I've got water here, but
Yes.
and I've got coffee. And I've got this little liquid breath thing, and I've got a remote control. I have all sorts of things over here. No, do you really want to know what I was thinking?
I do.
I was thinking about this bear caught in a trap, a stealthy bear caught in a trap, and the bear, very merry, a merry bear. Like maybe the bear is also a part-time carpenter. Who knows? I'm anthropomorphizing here. So the bear's caught in a trap, and the bear, of course, has to do what it has to do, because when a bear is caught in a trap, doesn't it bite off its own limbs? Was that only small rodents and mammals?
Wolves bite off their own limbs.
Do they bite off their own?
They do.
I saw a fox last night. When we landed the balloon and you went off to have that little exploration in that house with that woman, yeah. I was walking around looking for a place to watch the game, and I watched it at a bar with a very interesting bunch of young Philadelphian men who had a certain sort of charm of their own, and I saw a fox. Anyway, this bear's caught in a trap, and the bear's happy about it. I just sort of happy about the situation, and it's sort of biting off its limb, but it was like, that's really going to take way too much time, so it conveniently had a saw, and it was an electric saw, just conveniently. That's where I was. Anyway. Mary Carpenter. What was Woodrow Wilson like? I've always thought there was to him then his stoic exterior.
I've always thought there was to him then his stoic exterior.
There's a couple of parts of the speech that are actually missing from this question, but I think...
Or are they? Is that deliberate? What was Woodrow Wilson like? Woodrow not capitalized, Wilson capitalized.
I know, Wilson capitalized.
Woodrow Wilson.
I've always thought there was to him then his stoic exterior.
I always thought there was to him.
I think the word more is
or less.
I always thought there was less
to him than there was to his stoic exterior.
I always thought there was more to him.
More or less.
Woodrow Wilson wasn't very stoic at all. I might come across as stoic because you're looking at him in black and white film.
Woodrow Wilson liked to cross-stitch. Now, many people don't know this.
I didn't know this. I know you're going to tell me why you know this. What do you mean, of course?
Of course, when we were in his library, and all the little throw pillows that were on the side tables.
No, remember, you were in his library. I was off with his manservant. I never got into his library. You had tea with him. I never had tea with him.
Yes, well, I had tea with Woodrow Wilson in his library. We had many discussions about history and... What are you mumbling about?
I was thinking...
totally distracted me. I was
thinking about his manservant. I mean, very few people know that a president of the United States had a manservant, but he was well named, completely well named. He was a man. And
to deal with his stress...
He wasn't observing it at all. He was very masculine. Yes, what?
To deal with his stress, Woodrow Wilson liked to cross-stitch.
I didn't know that. Did he cross-stitch little aphorisms? Aphorisms? Oh my God, there's a small little red mic there who cross-stitch on aphorisms. Did he? Little sayings. A stitch in time saves 9.
No, he didn't. Which I would have thought would have been quite appropriate for Mr. Wilson, but instead, liked to do little pictures of country cottages and flowers.
You're in the study with Woodrow Wilson.
Yes.
Here you are. Woodrow Wilson and you.
Quite distracted because there are these little pillars of country cottages and flowers, and I'm thinking, oh, Woodrow Wilson must have a mistress who likes to cross-stitch. And then he whips out from a basket a sample of his work, and he said, "Do you cross-stitch, Cecily?" And I said, "No, I don't. I'm terribly bad at needlework." He said, "Well, it should be a part of every woman, as every man's responsibility, to cross-stitch some. It's very relaxing." And we sat down in his leather chair by the fireplace, and we began to cross-stitch and reminisce about old times.
Did you talk about the League of Nations, about the war, about the
No.
Spanish flu? None of that?
None of it.
Just cross-stitching?
Just cross-stitching.
Was it a lovely tea?
It was a lovely tea.
Was it a formal tea?
No, a very informal tea.
What did you have to eat? Do you remember?
There were little sandwiches on crustless bread. Your manservant man had removed the crust. Small white
She had very deft hands.
bread with mayonnaise and watercress and cucumbers.
Not my
And there
favourite
were
cup
some
sandwiches.
small lemon cookies.
Oh, I love lemon cookies, but they iced.
Yes, they were.
I love lemon cookies, iced lemon cookies. Oh, so very good.
Yes.
Woodrow Wilson, not so stoic apparently, or just really
Had a softer side.
a cross-stitching side, a softer cross-stitching side. There you have Woodrow